So guys, we are up to this head. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything nice, but it's never good in the beginning. Mm. You have to be careful. Don't get discouraged by if in the beginning the head is not looking right. It probably will not look right after a few hours too. But yeah, but you know, it's about practice. It's about practice because this is working from concept. We have to pay attention to the little things. You see how the eyebrow is coming from inside and going out, you know? So that's what I'm doing here. Let's see from the front. Okay, so the horn here in the nose has to go a little bit more backward, probably like this, but we'll see. So the head could be flatter. Okay, and maybe the eye should be smaller. Yeah, I made it a little bit too big, and of course we will make it separately, don't get me wrong, but in the beginning I like to make the eye from the same mesh so I can move it and rescale it easily, and then when I'm kind of happy with the form, with the shape and the size, especially the size of the eye, because the form and the shape mostly is a sphere. Now, when I'm happy with the size, I can move on to making it from a separate shape. And that's the thing, you know. Sometimes you will hear me talking like a robot, but it's okay, because then I'm just thinking and talking at the same time, which takes a lot of my brain. So that's why it's difficult for me to speak. So you see how he has something like lips made from kind of a scales. So that's what I'm doing now, just to mark them. They will not be the same at the end or something, and we will do them this way most likely, but with more polygons. Now I'm just marking them just to see where we are, just to see how this will look when we put them on. And you notice that here they are bigger, so let's do this and make them a bit bigger like this. And we have something like I don't know what is this, like a fold, like a wrinkle, but this part is bigger also, so I will make it. And by the way, I have a cheat sheet, we may say. Cheat sheet, what do I mean? Let me show you. Let me just show you. I have this. What is this? Dr. Danko in YouTube has made this very, very nicely, and he has a turntable. So you can also watch his turntable. It's pretty good, we may say. We may say it's amazing even. So yeah, we can use that too, this turntable, to see how this could look. Yeah, it's cheating, I know it's cheating, because we are not exactly doing it by ourselves, but sometimes we can afford that. I don't use it that much, but for you I think it will be useful, you know. I'm just trying to read the concept a little bit better, and from what I'm reading we can push this area but pull this area out. Yes, like this. I think this could be it. Yes. And I told you, when we put the teeth, it will start to look more like it. Now, it doesn't look that good. But with the teeth, it will, definitely. But we'll make them just in a second. Not quite in a second, in a few minutes probably. But still, we'll make them at some point. Definitely. Now, let's see if this jaw, we can make it a little bit bigger. Because you see, this guy in the YouTube that I've shown you, what he made is his artistic interpretation of this sculpt, of this concept. And it may be useful if you don't understand certain aspects, how to do them. But for an experienced artist, it's better not to watch that. Even for beginner, maybe, I don't know. Because you need to learn how to make it yourself, and that's but of course in the beginning you can learn from people who are good, and this guy is good, definitely. Is he better than me, you will ask? Yeah, a good question, thank you. Probably in some areas. I'm not sure. Maybe. Maybe he's not. We will see at the end. Because he already did it a long time ago. And now it's my turn to take a swing at this. And you know, for the modeling part, I don't have too much. Um, I'm not worried too much about the modeling. I'm worried a little bit about the rendering because I don't render that much. But I will do my best and we will see what happens. And probably you already saw it because you saw the promo images, and you probably liked it. That's why you are here. And thank you for that. But I will not be easy on you. I'm sorry, but uh, yeah, I'm thankful that you took the course, but I'm never easy on my students because, um, you know, you have to go through the harsh in order to get the easy. I mean, I went through the harsh when I was young. My father was a military guy, and it was hard growing up. But later in life, it was very easy for me because after this, what I experienced in the young age, everything else was like child's play. That's why uh, it's hardening you. You know, rough times are make you harder, and after that, everything else is pretty easy. So now we are just trying to achieve a nice likeness. I'm just working here and there. I'm not sure about exactly about the head, because you see, the head is turned a little bit up. My head here is not turned that much up. So I will go with the G and make the brush very big and just push with the G. Push this down a bit like this and pull this up. Hopefully this will make it look more upward. Yeah, hopefully. And this eye, by the way, is still too big, so I will try to make it smaller by just, like this. Yes. Now we're talking, and you have to take your time in this stage of the model, because if you don't, you will suffer in the later stages. Although now, of course, we can make a lot more things. We can make changes in any time. We are not bound to something that we do. But yeah, I'm just trying to achieve a little bit better result. And let's make the teeth. I like to make the teeth after I made the other things. I will make this a little bit wider, the neck. It shouldn't be that thin. Or maybe it will be thinner here, but we'll see. But the teeth, let's make the teeth. So how to make the teeth? It's very easy. I will just go to object mode with Control Tab and object mode, which is Control Tab left. Now object mode, and then Shift A, mesh, a UV sphere. Again, a UV sphere, I know. Then I press Tab. So when I make a new object, I don't move it. I don't do anything to it unless I press Tab. And then I start moving it and playing with it in Tab. And then I will press this, which is the transform gizmo. Yeah. And I will make it smaller with S. I don't need to press the transform gizmo. I can just press A to select everything, press S to make the scale, and then move to make it smaller. And then just scale it by this axis. And this will be one of our many teeth. So I can scale it also on this axis, scale it on this axis, and scale it as a whole. Be careful, by the way, not to turn the polygons because it's possible. And then I will put it into position around this area. I'm pressing G to move, and just here will be okay for now. Now we go to sculpt mode and we have it. So it's here. I can go to the dragon head. How do I change between different meshes in the sculpt mode? Is with Alt Q. So Alt Q here, Alt Q here. If you are using Blender, which is earlier than 3. If you're using 2 point something, changing between meshes will be different. But I advise you to just go and download the latest Blender, which is 3.2. It's better and it's faster mostly. So yeah, I will push this lower jaw in, and I will pull the upper jaw out, in this area at least, because we need these teeth to be able to be visible. Then I will go to the teeth with Alt Q. Just hover the object Alt Q, and we will make one teeth like this. Then if I want to duplicate it, I will go to Tab and Shift D to duplicate and just move it. This is the duplicate of the same mesh, and I will push it and position it. Of course, I can go again and move, position it. By the way, now, what do we have? Now we have two meshes, which are in the same kind of a place. They are in the same mesh, but there are two meshes inside, and I'm moving them together. But if you want to move only one of the meshes, which is one continuous mesh, you see. So what I'm pressing here is the slash, this, you see it. You see it here. No, here. This is the button which is next to the left shift. And if I want to move just one of those, I have to go to N, Tool, Advanced, and click Topology. And now, when I select one of the teeth and start moving it, however big my brush is with the grab brush, I will move and just make sure it's moving only one of the meshes, which is great, which is cool. Now, I will go to Tab, one of the meshes selected, Shift D to duplicate it, make it smaller and push it, and just with G and move, we will place it around probably this area. Yes. And then I will go Control Tab down, go to the head with Alt Q, and yeah, these things, to go from one mesh to another, and go from object mode to edit mode and to sculpt mode, you have to learn how to do it without any, very fast. You have to be very fast with this. Not very fast, but you have to be confident. You can be not so fast. It's okay, but you have to be confident with this, because it's important for you to do it. Otherwise, some things you cannot do if you don't know how to do this. So I will disable in Tool the topology, so I can move all the teeth a little bit forward, because what I need to do now is, they are not in the other side, by the way. I will go again to the teeth, press Tab, then go to whatever teeth it is. By the way, if I have not selected anything, if I press A, it will select all the teeth. But if I want to select only one of them, how to do it? Press L. Just hover one of the teeth and press L. The other one, just click, press L. Click here, press L. Click outside to deselect everything, then press L, L, L. And this way you can select. To deselect, I don't think Shift L. No, Shift L is working. So you can do Shift L and L. Okay, now I want this, I want the biggest one. Okay, press L, hover it, press L, then Shift D and rotate it. And this will be one of the other teeth. One of the two back teeth. Yeah, we're basically making it the same as the concept, which is a good thing. I will tell you why. When you're working for a freelance or for a concept for your work, many companies, they are making the concept. I mean, the 2D artists, the concept artists are making the concept, but it's approved. The concept is approved, and they want the 3D to be as much as possible close to the concept. That's why we should learn to work on the concept. And it's not that easy. It's not as easy as it sounds to work on the concept and to make the things exactly like the concept. So be careful about that. It's not super easy. It's not hard, but it takes a lot of practice. I learned it a hard way, of course. In the beginning, I was able to work on the concept, but I was deviating a little bit. I was just giving from myself. and it was fine. But once I had to do a concept for one game, I had to do a 3D, and the concept was by the lead artist. All the concepts for this game that we were doing, all the characters were made by the lead artist on the same project, and he was the only 2D artist basically. So he was making concept and giving it to us. We were making it in 3D and giving it to him for approval. And the first one I did, and I was pretty happy with it, and I gave it to him, and he gave it back with a lot of feedback. He said, this line is not exactly like the concept, this line is not exactly like the concept. And I was like, what is this guy talking about? But he was right. He wants everything to be exactly like the concept, and sometimes you have to know how to do it. I didn't know how to exactly did that, but after the second and third character I did, I started to understand what is required, and that he wants exact copy of his concepts but in 3D, and he was a good artist, so his drawings were possible to make in 3D because sometimes 2D drawings are a little bit tough to make in 3D, but his were pretty fine. So I may say, he taught me how to work on a concept. And from there on, I know how to kind of look, and I see some things. For example, if you want to do exactly this dragon, you have to position the head kind of similar to the concept and start kind of doing some things like this, like move. Of course, we'll not be able to make it as good as the concept unless we put all the things. That's why we will make sure we put all the things before we start refining. So now we have this. We will put the teeth on the other side. How? With the help of our symmetrize. So you go there and you press symmetrize. And what happens is your teeth disappear. Control Z. You go here, and instead of minus x to x, because you know this side is minus x, so it takes this side and put it to the side. And since this is nothing here, it just deletes the others. So we go here and plus x, which is this side, to minus x, and now when we symmetrize, they will be here. And by the way, when we symmetrize and everything goes back to it, if it's okay, we have to always press X to start working symmetrically, because otherwise we will work on this area and the other area will not change, and we'll have to do the symmetrize again, which is not a big problem, but yeah. So in this case, since we will work mostly on this side of the dragon, which is the plus X size of the coordination system, you see X here is the positive. You cannot see it's the positive, but if you have learned math, the positive X is going from 0 to the right. I mean, if you see me on the camera, it's from 0 to the right is positive, from 0 to the left is negative. So that's how it works here. But if you started your model like this, it will be the opposite. So make sure when you press 1 on your numeric keyboard, numpad 1, you see the front of your figure. If you press 1 and you see the back of your figure, with control 1, I will see the back. This will be a little bit of a problem, but not too much. When you press 1 and then you start to rotate, most of the time you will lose the visibility of everything. So you have to press home on your keyboard. Or you can go to view, viewport, no, yeah, viewport, camera, no, front, back, it's here, numpad 1 and control numpad 1, yeah, those. You can find them in view. Also, frame selected is numpad dot and home is frame all. So you have them here, but you can use also the keyboard, and I'm always using the keyboard, as you know. So we have the head, we have the teeth, we can continue with the rest of the body, which we can leave to the next video. Why not? Yeah, we will leave it to the next.